In this video, we're going to turn blue foam into burnt-looking prop wood. Okay, so on the top we've got a piece of blue foam, and on the bottom is the finished product. Take the blue foam and cut it out with jagged edges using a razor knife. Then take a file and run it across the wood, and then heat it up with a heat gun, and you'll get this kind of texture. And so it looks a lot like burnt wood. Then take a soldering iron, run it across the length of the foam to create wood grain. And don't forget to make knots and run the grain around the knots, and you'll get something looking like that. And do a lot of those and you'll have a big pile of this. Now I'm going to paint the wood, and the first thing I'm going to do is apply a base of latex paint, and this is a higher or lighter color than what you might normally expect. It's almost a flesh tone, and what I'm trying to do here is get into all of the lines that I've made with the soldering iron to create wood grain. Then you hit the prop foam with black spray paint, and in this video I'm actually using gloss paint because I want the wood to be a little bit reflective because of the lighting that it's going to be in. So I'm using gloss black here. Then you can apply different kinds of paints, different colors, mostly browns and blacks and alternating layers, and that is going to give you the appearance of wood. And I'm just going to continue doing this on all of the props, the pieces of foam, so that I have, when I'm finished, it looks like a wood grain along with burnt, the rest of the wood being burnt. And also we're going to hit this with highlights of white paint later on so that it looks like a part of the wood is burnt to ash. And that is coming up. But basically I go around all of the edges real dark with black paint, then spray it in various places, give it a light coat of black and brush that out a little bit, mix in some brown, brush that out a little bit, then I'll hit it with some white occasionally in some spots to make it look like it's ashy, then go back over with brown. This is really just up to you. It's an artistic thing really as to what you think burnt wood should look like. And to me this looks like burnt wood, so this is the way that I did it. And you don't necessarily have to do it this way, but this worked best for me. And here's where I'm actually adding some of the highlighting with the dry brush of white paint. And there's a close-up, you can see what I'm talking about. It really looks like charred burnt wood in some of those sections. And I'm just going to continue this process for all of these various pieces. You can apply more white or less, it just depends. You can have various pieces burnt more than others. You don't want everything all burnt uniformly. More can be brown than black, or some can be more black than brown. It's all personal preference. Now if you're not aware, spray paint will eat away at this foam, which is kind of why I gave it a latex base. But nonetheless, if the paint does in fact eat away at the foam, it's not a bad thing. It'll give you more texture, and it's actually the acetone in the spray paint that eats away at the foam. So don't be afraid to go at it with spray paint, because damage is what we're looking for here. We want the wood to look burnt. So the next three pieces that I'm doing here, I opted not to apply a base of latex paint, and I'm going at it directly with the spray paint. As I mentioned before, the spray paint will eat away at the foam, both the pink and the blue. Some of these pieces were done with pink foam just to vary the size and shape. And it's okay that it does that again, because it's just going to create more damage to the foam, which is going to make it look more like burnt wood. So the base of the latex paint is not required, but it does actually bring out the grain a little bit more. And in this particular piece right here, you can see there where I've gone across the grain of the wood and carved out, these crisscross patterns. Not on this piece that I'm painting, but on the piece right below it. And that's just to make more a section that's going to look like it's really burnt with ash. And I'll be spraying that with white paint shortly. And again, it's just up to preference as to what colors you think look good, and varying the pieces. You don't want them to all look the same. Some are darker, some are lighter, some have ash on them, some of them don't. It's just a matter of preference. Now this section right here I'm hitting with some white paint. It actually came out a little too quickly, so I feathered it out with the brush there, then went over it again with some black just to create more of an ashy, burnt section of the wood. The last step of the process is to paint the backside. Now for my use, I don't really care that much about the backside. I just want them to appear like they're burning. So I'm going to be painting them here with fluorescent orange along with some black. And this will give you the appearance that the wood is hot and burning and on fire, and the front sides are burnt. And this is what you get when you're done with the whole thing. These are some shots coming up now of the final product, and you can see the wood grain, you can see the ash at the top, also at the bottom, the ashy look. This is a flash shot of it, but you can see it brings out the whites, you can see all of the ash and the textures, and you really get a good appearance of burnt wood. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and you found it useful, and if you did, make sure to leave some comments and hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching.